Through a tiny tube and into a small bag, the blood that flows through our veins and keeps us alive makes its first step towards saving another. With just a tiny prick and a bit of patience, half a liter of this blood can mean the difference between life and death.
You save someone's life with your donation. So, or a child that, a life-saving donation, grandmother that might be in, for heart surgery or hip replacements. You give people back their lives.
Today, this donation is coming from the arm of Mark Charlebois. The 17-year-old is rolling up his sleeve for the first time.
It was good. Yeah, it was super easy. Hardly felt the needle going in. Nothing.
Mark is one of dozens of students at the annual Claremont Secondary Mobile Clinic, but he's probably the only student here carrying on a family tradition.
Because he's saved so many people's lives with his blood donation, with his bone marrow.
Don't think we'll quite make time.
He is Mark's dad, Dave. He's one of those super donors who has donated blood more than 100 times, starting out in the same chair at the same age as his son is today.
When I was a kid, I followed my dad to the blood donor clinic, so he donated for many years. So that was sort of my inspiration to start, and I started young, and it's just something that stayed with me my whole life.
Call it passing the torch or following in his dad's footsteps. Either way, today Mark is making sure that saving lives becomes part of his life.
He's always donated blood, and I was excited that when I turned 17 that I could donate blood. I was almost thinking of making sure on my 17th birthday the thing that I did was go and donate blood.
Dave says it only takes an hour out of his schedule once every 2 months, and he's lucky to be healthy enough to help others.
What is it in BC? Something like only 3% of eligible donors actually donate. So I think that number is appalling, I hate to say.
But he knows that with his son successfully making his first donation, a new dedicated donor will be in this chair 6 times a year for life.
Oh, I think it's great, because again, I can go back 30 some odd years ago, and that was me in the same situation.
And not only has Dave donated blood 140 times, he's also donated bone marrow to a young girl in Ontario. And thanks to that one generous donation, she is alive and thriving today.
We had an opportunity to meet for the first time back in '06. So I've met the family. They didn't know I was coming. It was a complete surprise.
He says it was an extremely emotional experience, but after seeing how helpless her parents were, it just made sense.
But as I say to people, as I talk about my experience, I had the easy part. I'm the healthy one. I was the one who was able to donate with really very little side effect to me. And I'm not the one with a sick child.
And watching it all as a little boy growing up was Mark. Now a young man, he's hoping his donation will help inspire others at his school and other schools around the South Island.
It's one of the things that the older kids in the school get to do, and they're donating blood, and it's almost something to say that you're 17 here at Claremont, I guess, and it's of course saving a life. Who wouldn't want to?
In Saanich, I'm Nikki Iwanishin.